with the Dallas Mavericks, and they have already drafted the player there for the Dallas Mavericks in Olivier-Maxence Prosper. Helped the Golden Eagles win the Big East regular season and tournament titles. Omax averaged 12.5 points this past season. Outstanding defensive versatility, 7'1" wingspan. He had a strong pre-draft process, and this is what he decided in terms of keeping his name in, because he could have went back. He went from a fringe prospect to a first-round pick here as he goes 24th, and he will not be wearing a Kings hat. He will be wearing a Dallas Mavericks hat in the end when it's all completed. But Omax is headed to the Mavericks. You watched him a lot in the Big East. You know what he's capable of. He was really a fantastic player there at Marquette.
Yeah, listen, Marquette had a wonderful season. It ended before it, Shaka Smart and the Golden Eagles thought it would in the NCAA tournament, not making the second weekend. But Omax Prosper, slowly but surely, improved his reputation. And then when we got to the end of the season, it was, well, you're clearly an NBA prospect. Like, he needed to go into the process to see where his stock was. When the basketball season was over, it was not like this was a foregone conclusion. In fact, if you gave that Marquette coaching staff truth serum, I would bet you they thought that he'd go get some good feedback, come on back, and be an extremely important game-changing kind of player next season at Marquette. That's not going to happen. He's going to play in Dallas, and he is one of the biggest risers in this process. And not just in like the past couple of weeks. I'm talking steady, big steps and leaps over the past 6 to 7 weeks. Really impressive story, and it is another good. This seems to be some pretty savvy drafting by Dallas overall. Doing a little moving and shifting, trying to get the right pieces in place there. Adam, I'm not sold on him I'm not sold on him completely as him hitting and being a first-round talent long-term. I'm open to it, but I'm not all in on it. But it is intriguing nonetheless. And when you look at who else they drafted in the first round and what they have with Luka there, it does make sense.
Yeah, I really like what Dallas is doing, because they're surrounding Luka and Kyrie with defensive-minded front court players who can also make a spot-up shot. So that is not a good for as dynamic as that duo is offensively, that perimeter tandem, they are really limited defensively. So you need forwards and big men around them who can cover up mistakes, who can cover the court. Lively and Omax can do that. There's increasing evidence that Omax may be able to make a spot-up shot. He's also a high-level athlete. He's got the length. I'll give this a B because I think he's solid. He's not necessarily spectacular. The other thing I will add about him, at Marquette, a Big East championship team, as you mentioned, he's already accustomed to not being the man offensively. That was a team that played around Tyler Kolek. So a lot of these guys, when they go to the NBA, it's the first time in their entire basketball journeys that they are not the man on their team. Omax Prosper is used to that. He's used to playing off other people, and that's going to be, for pretty much all these guys, that's going to be the transition. He's going to have less of a transition in terms of the role he's going to play at the NBA versus the role he played in college than many of the names we've heard so far tonight.
Fantastic point right there by you in terms of not being the guy and then heading to the NBA, where you're going to have to get used to that as you take a look at the last 5 first-round picks from Marquette. There's a guy named Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler that turned out to be pretty darn good.